Top of the morning, Kish my world. Top at the night, it's actually night right now. Kish my world. Welcome to today's video, brand new video. I'm a bit tired because I've been traveling for the last like 6 hours or something from Johannesburg, South Africa, and I'm finally arriving here in the beautiful Maputo, Mozambique. This is my hotel room. As you can see, I'm staying here for a couple of nights in the heart of the city downtown, but it's not such a good start. Yes, actually it's not such a good start. It's very sad because I traveled by bus from Joburg, as you guys know, and it was a smooth sailing. We came very well. Funny enough, that driver, he never stopped for us to take like bathroom breaks or anything, which is very uncommon. They always stop, but anyways, that's not the main point. So we drove and we drove and we drove until we got to the border, like to a small gas station. Then the driver comes and he says, yo, if anyone does not have a passport, say now, and then we leave, so that we can know how to fix that by the time we get to the border, so that we go, so that it's not too much problems with the police. I don't know, but apparently some people travel without passports. So they were like, yeah, the South African police might give you a fine of 15,000 rand if you do not have a passport. So he asked again, is there anybody without a passport? Please say now or forever hold your peace, as they say. Anyways, there's one guy who didn't have his passport, so he was taken into a different vehicle, and they just wanted to make sure that all of us had the correct documentation to be able to proceed and to move on to the next step, and that everybody had their own, everybody left had the documentation, so everything was good, smooth sailing, and we continued towards the border. It's just like 5 minutes later we entered into the border, and as soon as you get off the vehicle, there's an officer there waiting to check your documents. So everybody is giving their passport, he checks, go, checks, go, checks, go. Then it comes to Kish my world's turn, and I give him my Swedish passport. That's the one I usually use, the Swedish one, because, you know, it's just, according to me, it's less questions asked. You know, like they don't ask you so many questions like hotel, accommodation, return ticket, how many days, all these things. They don't really bother too much when you're traveling within Africa with a European passport. So he sees my passport, of course, and he gives it back to me, and I go. That's the first point where the police officer checks. Then we head over to the South African side, and the officers there. South Africa is such an organized and good country, and the corruption is very minimal. Anyways, yeah, they just take the passport easily, check the pages. When you are stamping, they stamp you out, they wish you a safe onward trip. Then after that, you have to walk from South Africa. It's not a one-stop border post, it's a two-stop border post. So you have to walk from the exit for, it's quite a distance. It's like 5 minutes walk towards the Mozambique side, you know, and then from there is where the immigration from Mozambique are supposed to welcome you and into the country. So as we're walking, once we've exited the South African side, there's some police officers on the road who also stop and check everyone's documents. So they check everyone's documents. Most of the people are Mozambique, and maybe South Africans, so they could just easily trade. I give him my passport, red passport. Then he's like, what passport? He's never seen this one. Then he looks at me, doesn't say anything, he gives it to his colleague. The colleague takes it, looks at it, also gives it to his other colleague. There were 3 of them. Then the first officer comes and he asks me, where are you going? I told him, I'm going to Maputo. Then he's like, Maputo where? I told him, Maputo, like in town. Then he's like, no, Maputo is big. Maputo where? I tell him, Maputo downtown, that's where I have my hotel booking. And usually for me, the secret I realize is whenever I want to book a place, I check it online, either on booking.com or in Hostel World or wherever, hotels.com, Trivago, and then I see the hotels that are close to the city, how much they are charging, like the prices. Then I go to the property, especially in Africa. I go to the actual property and pay from there, because it's usually way cheaper than paying in advance or online. But now this officer asked me, do you have reservation? And I say, yes, I do. And he was like, let me see it. Then I'm thinking, oh shit, like I don't have like a paid reservation, so so I start like just up and down, just asking, looking like I want to find it. Then he's like, they discuss something, then like let him go. Then I take my passport and I head over to now the main office where they take your fingerprints and your photo and they stamp you in. Now I get there. Remember, the other officers have already wasted some of my time trying to discuss this passport of mine. Then I go to the other border point where they're supposed to check me in, and the officer immediately sees my passport. He could see like some type of glow on his face. Then he's like, he takes it and then he's like, wait here. Then he goes inside and I'm like, now what is this waiting? Then I wait for like 5-7 minutes. Then he comes back with 2 other officers, a woman and a man, and they give me a form with my passport attached. Then they're like, okay, fill this form, and then we proceed. First of all, last time, is there a problem? He's like, no problem, just fill this form and then we proceed. Then I take the pen and I'm filling the form, and the form says visa, what is it called? Approval form, not approval form, request form. Yes, sorry, visa request form. So I read my name, and then as I read further, I see visa request form. Then I'm like, yo, wait, is visa free for me as a Swedish citizen to come into Mozambique for 30 days? But the form says visa request form. Then the guy, he realizes, oh shit, yeah, this guy is like, he's on to us. Then he's like, yeah, but it's not visa, it's just like standard, you have to fill this one. And I'm like, but it does say visa request form, but I don't need a visa because it's visa free for me. And he's like, no, it's just because you're not from here, so you just need to fill this form. And then he says, but you have to pay. No, yeah, you have to fill this form. Then I asked him, but I don't have to pay anything, right? Then he's like, no, you have to pay a processing fee. And I'm like, of how much? And it's like 635 medical. And I am like, what? And I'm like, no, because why am I paying 635? And it clearly says that I am visa free. Let me show you how much that is in euros, so that you understand the currency. 635 medical. That's about it's not too much, but it's like $10, so that's what he's demanding. So I'm like, no, I'm not supposed to pay any cash. Actually, let me tell you, because I knew Mozambique is visa free for me, I didn't change any money. I didn't do anything, because I usually go to the country that I'm heading to and I withdraw from the ATM if I want to like make any payments or anything. And I only had with me 58 South African rand. So anyways, the guys tell me, yeah, you have to pay 635 medical. And I'm like, dude, I'm not supposed to pay anything because it's visa free for me. Then yeah, like he just starts to seem like he's a bit disappointed with the whole thing. So eventually, yeah, that's what he insists. Then I tell him, okay, you know what, I actually have another passport. I have a Kenyan passport, and that one also for sure I know does not need a visa to come into Mozambique. It's visa free. And remember, time is still going. Now all the people in the bus that are with me, they've already been cleared, and now there are somewhere in the bus waiting for the bus to take off so that we continue from the border to Maputo. Then he's like, oh, you have the Kenyan passport? He's like, okay, just 1 minute. Then he takes it, then he goes to some room. Then he says, let me talk to my manager. Then he comes back and he's like, okay, you know what, Kenyan passport is okay, you just have to pay 200 medical. 200 medical again. Like they really just want to skin you or something. Then I told them, excuse me, I told you I know it's visa free for me as a Kenyan to come here to Mozambique. And for Kenyan, actually, it's 90 days. As a Swedish, it's 30 days. But I'm only here for like 1 week. Then he's like, no, you have to, you pay 200. And I told him, no, even if I wanted to pay you, it's impossible because I don't have any cash with me, because there's nothing I brought with me. I don't travel with cash. Then he's like, what do you mean you don't travel with cash? How are you going to survive? I told him, no, because everything I do it online. If it's booking the hotel, I'll book it online, everything. Then he looks at me and he's a bit like angry. But now the driver comes and he's like, hey, what's happening? You've been waiting. Do you have any bags? I'm like, I have bags in the car. Because even the driver wanted to leave me now because I'm taking too much time. Then he's like, okay, we have to go, maybe you can come and meet us in like some other place. I'm like, no, I can't, because I don't know where I'm going, and I'm new, and it's dark, and it's at night. So he starts talking to the officer in Portuguese. He's like, this guy, we're in a bus, there's children. Because I could hear, I understand some words like kinder, there's like modre, there's like, modre, that means mothers, kinder means children. So I'm like, okay, he's trying to talk to him. Then the guy is like, oh, you're in the bus. Then now he's like, oh shit, there's no way they're gonna like try and hold me back for long. And the driver is now there with me. Then he tells, okay, you give me 200 medical, then you go. And I tell him, my friend, I told you I don't have any money. Even if I wanted to, I can't, because I don't have any cash with me. Then he tells the driver, you give me the 200 medical, now in their language, but I'm understanding a bit what they're saying. Then the guy is like, oh, me, I don't have any money also. So it becomes like, now it's pressure time. Then he's like, how much? Give me even South African rand. I told him, I don't have any money. I only have like 50 rand. Then he's like, okay. Then I asked him, but what is it for? He says, it's not for registration as a Kenyan, you have to pay 200. So first of all, it came from 635 according to the other passport, and now it's 200. I tell him, no, I don't have. And now you see, we have to go because time is running out. Then finally, he starts telling me, you're not a good guy. And actually, he asked me, you speak Swahili? And I'm like, yeah, I speak Swahili. He actually speaks Swahili. I didn't even know Mozambique people can speak Swahili. So he's like, yeah, you're not a good guy. You come here, you don't even want to give us anything. And I'm like, what? Like, he's literally now opening up and just saying outright, he just wanted a bribe for me to come in, some money for me to come in. Then I'm like, yeah, but you know what? Even if I wanted to, man, I don't have any money, because I knew when I come here, he's visa free for me as a Kenyan and as a Swede. I'm not supposed to pay a single cent. Then he just goes in. Then he's like, before he stamps in, he's like, just give me that 50 rand then. Like, he made sure he has to take something from me. Let me tell you how much 50 rand is in USD. South African rand 50. That's about, it's only about $2.50. Imagine. And now, like, he still had to get that money, but there's no way I was gonna come in here without paying some money. Now, he even messed me up, because that 50 rand, I was planning to cross the border and get myself a SIM card with it, because I planned myself so well to the last, because I don't like remaining with foreign currency from other countries. I always plan myself to the last bit. So I wanted to use that money to buy a SIM card so that I can be able to find direction to where I'm going, and it's late at night and all these things. So the damn dude just took even my 50 rand. So I was left with no internet, no connection. I can't even buy water. I can't buy anything. So immigration officers should realize that people have planned their monies. Like, I had to suffer all these things because I didn't have any money. And the 50 rand that I had left, actually, they even took it, because they just wouldn't let me go without nothing. Remember, people were waiting for me on the other side. When I went there, everybody was like sitting in the bus. They were like, what's happening? So I just told them, imagine your officers here, they were asking 635 for me to come in here. Then at least people understood. Then they were angry, because they were like, no, that's just corruption, So it's unfortunate, man, that traveling in Africa, there's such things happening. If it was true, you have to pay 635 or even 200. Like, a visa fee is a visa fee. It doesn't change. It doesn't do anything if you have it. But the moment they're fluctuating, because even at one point I actually thought it's true, but the moment it starts fluctuating, then that's just a bribe they're looking for. And there's nowhere that says a country, if it says visa free, it's actually visa free. You're not supposed to do anything else. There's a difference between visa free and visa on arrival. Visa on arrival, you have to pay for the visa. But if the country says visa free, you go in scot free. And that's why I love South Africa so much, man. South Africa and Lesotho, those countries, they are so corruption free, man. And Rwanda, yes, and Rwanda also. Those countries are so corruption free in the border. They literally you just come in, they greet you with a smile, thank you, welcome to a country. That's the first impressions you want of a country, not to be harassed immediately you come in. They just ask you very basic questions, how many days you want to stay and all that, and they stamp you in. South Africa, man, I've been in and out of South Africa now for like 2 times, and every time has been a walk in the park. Very, very, very smooth, So it's very unfortunate. Traveling in Africa is like this. In DRC also, I had the same problems. The guys told me I have to pay them. If not, they don't even hide. You have to give us some money, otherwise we'll deny your entry. The same in Tanzania. it wasn't the same problem, but they were like, you know what, they ask you for money. They're like, why don't you buy us some tea? Why don't you buy some coffee? You know, which is like really ridiculous. In Uganda, in the border, they were trying to force me to use my Swedish passport, so I pay visa for $50, and if not, they wanted money at the table. Then again, I had to fight them. I was resilient. I was like, you know what, I have 2 passports and I get to choose what passport I want to use, and I'm using the Kenyan passport. Thank God I had so much time in the border because my bus broke down, so I fought them until eventually they agreed. I don't know about Kenya because they don't disturb me, but if my Kenyan immigration officers are like that, I really hope we improve. But man, Africa, if you want to be a force to reckon with in the world, we need to be straight. These small corruptions of the borders, man, that's the first impressions of people in a country. Something needs to change. Something's gotta give. Big up South Africa, big up Lesotho, and big up Rwanda for being a pace setter, you know, in African countries and not disturbing people with all these issues, you know. So I really hope things can be better. Also remember, in North Africa, I had the same problems with immigration in Morocco, and just being pulled to the side. There's a video about that you can go and watch about it. Like most countries in Africa I've been to, South Sudan, you know, I've just been having these problems, and it makes it so difficult to travel Africa. At least places like Burundi, they don't ask for a bribe, but the officers will always be like, give me something, give me some tea, give me some whatever. But you always have to feel that pressure, because this is somebody who is in a position to deny you entry in a country, and either you lose your flight, or you lose your bus ticket, or maybe people leave you and you'll be stranded in the middle of nowhere. So they use your desperation to make the best out of it. So African countries, we need to stand up, we need to wake up, we need to stop this nonsense, and we need to unite. We are brothers and sisters, and just let people enjoy free trade, free movement within the countries, you know, as those are the dreams that we have. Yeah guys, anyways, that was a really disheartening experience coming into Mozambique, but I'm not gonna judge the entire country just because of some ignorant officers in the border. Is my first impressions, my first contact with the city. Man, it was really tough. Let me tell you how I got to my hotel. When we got to the border, like the end station, I got out and I looked for a guy with like random taxi, you know, and of course the language is not even so easy. So I just told him, you know what, I need to go to a place called this and this. I don't have internet, I can't even show him the directions. He himself didn't know the directions so well, so we had to go and ask somebody else who was at least a bit familiar with the area. And then it was really difficult, and if I had my SIM card, I would even use Google Translate to talk with them and show them the area, find the prices. So I don't know if I was overcharged or not. I don't know. It was very difficult to get to this place, and also I had to tell them, can we pass by the ATM so that I can withdraw some Metica, so that I can be able to pay them, and just, you know, get some extra cash for me to walk around here. So all this is a ripple effect from that 50 rand the guy took, because I had planned myself to buy a SIM card with that one, buy airtime. Then with airtime you can be able to see, not airtime, data, you can be able to see where you're going, you can be able to use Google Maps, you can be able to use Google Translate, and that's how it works as a solo traveler, you know. You're highly dependent on internet connection. So they just messed up my entire thing, my entire trajectory of the day, of the night. But good news, I made it. I'm a seasoned traveler, I'm resilient, and it's not gonna make me judge Mozambique in a bad way. I still believe it's a wonderful country, full of adventure, full of natural beauty, full of beautiful people, and I'm still gonna promote this country and just show the positive aspects. I know the people will be amazing. I know they'll be there to like just support Kish World. Southern African people are one of the best people ever. So unfortunately that happened. Very, very bad impressions of coming in, but as I said, I look forward to the positivity. So let me know guys in the comment section, have you traveled to African countries, and which country gave you the most problems? Let me know your story below, you know, in the comment section, because I'm feeling a bit discouraged, so that I can know that I'm not just a unique case. and encourage me somehow, you know. Yeah, but guys, welcome to Mozambique, country number 43 for Kish My World. Tomorrow I hope I'll wake up with new energy. I'm tired, I'm stressed, I have no connection, but kaende kifo cha mende. Yeah man, let's do this.